Okay, this is Chris. I'm back again. This is the follow-up video for the review for my New Frontier Arms AR-45 that I built from an 80%. I had some teething problems. The first time we went to the range, we had issues, primarily light strikes on the ammo, and we broke the ping pong paddle. And the rest of this video, I will just be going over that. I'm going to have a little range footage and then we'll come back. Forgive me if this video is not that great. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just doing this to help people out who might be building one of these. Hello again. Today, due to several requests, we're going to be doing a review at the range, firing my AR-45 that I built for the first time. We're going to be using 3 different types of ammo today. These are about the 3 cheapest ammos that are available in this caliber. 230 grain 45 auto jacketed hollow points from Winchester white box. What grain is that? 230 grain full metal jacket ball ammo, tool ammo, and 230 grain full metal jacket ball ammo federal brass case. The only other one that we probably aren't shooting today is aluminum case. I want to shy away from that. It's not really good in blowback firearms like this. You stick to 1911 or something of that nature for that. Today we are shooting. Initially, we'll be shooting 5 rounds out of a Glock 21 standard magazine, 13 round. I'm going to be shooting 5 rounds a piece at a go until this is fully broken in. I don't want to push it any more than I have to. We're going to start out with a federal brass case. This is probably going to be the friendliest ammo to start out with it, considering this gun is brand new and it's never had any rounds fired through it. It's going to be pretty tight still. I've lubed it up today. I generally like to shoot my guns for the first time a little bit on the dry side so that they'll wear in, and then clean them up and then re-lube them afterwards. We're shooting at 25 meters, 25 yards, whatever this range is set up for. That's our target right there on my crappy little You ready?
Yep.
Okay, it looks like it's shooting low and to the left, but it's keeping a pretty tight grip though. Perfect function. Bolts hold back at the end like it's supposed to. We're on safe. Drop the magazine. And it looks as though it's shooting a bit low into the left. So I'm going to bring it right a little bit. Alright, this is 5 rounds of little brass case ammo. Now we're going to try 5 rounds of Tula steel case ammo. I'm going to be shooting at the target on the right this time so we can differentiate. Had perfect function with the brass case ammo, ball ammunition, and I've adjusted the rear sight for windage. I brought it to the right a little bit because shooting low and to the left I can adjust. I'll just use some Kentucky windage for the elevation change. Five rounds, steel case, tool ammunition. Malfunction.
Is it dead?
It might not have loaded though. Yep, good. Alright. Try that again. Looks like it was a light strike. Again. All right. Apparently it doesn't like the... Might need to put a harder trigger spring in there because it's got 2 light strikes on that. This is why you test it. You don't want to have this as your backup ammo and have it do that light strike. I might have to put a different trigger spring in there for military style ammunition. Let's try it again. Whoop. Let me try to start off with a different one. I might have a dud.
Yeah, it looked like it striked, so it's probably a dud.
Yeah, it did. It was light strike. Okay, there we go. Try it again. This is why you're testing the new gun out. Okay, the rest of them fired. That might have just been an extra hard primer. The rest of them function flawlessly. I can't really tell where that's shooting. I think it's still shooting low. Can you see on there?
You're shooting at the right one?
Yeah, at the right one. I think it's still shooting low. It looks like I caught it in the bottom.
Yeah.
Right there.
You shot me.
Alright. Pause it. Head primer. Now we've looked at 230 grain hollow point Winchester white box ammo. I think that one was just a bad primer in that tool ammo. Did it strike it?
Yeah.
Did light strike? I might have to put a little bit harder. Might have to put a little bit harder trigger spring in there. Still shooting low. Yeah, shooting low. Pretty decent though. Let me see if that will strike it again. Ready? Cool. Here we are. It's a new day. We had to sort out some problems. The last time we were at the range last Monday, we had some failure to fire due to light primer strikes, and I attributed that to me lightening the hammer spring too much. So I've replaced the hammer spring with a standard military hammer spring. So that should resolve that problem. The other problem that we had in the end was I don't think the ejector was properly adjusted, so consequently we ended up breaking the ping pong paddle. So that's been replaced. And after I called Joebobs to get a replacement, they basically said that the spring we were using was too light because it was the standard. So they suggested that we get the Call Valley heavy duty spring that's actually meant for a carbine 308 rifle. So that's what the spring's been replaced with. We've replaced the ping pong paddle. We've readjusted and locked down the ejector, and we've added a new hammer spring. Right now we're at hot, but we haven't got our target down range. So I'm going to pause it here. So okay, we've just gone, and we're going to try this again. This time we're using the same ammo as we did last time. But hopefully, since I replaced the hammer spring, we won't have the light strikes that we had last time, and it should cycle through all this. We didn't have any cycling problems last time. We just had light primer strikes, and in the end, we ended up breaking the ping pong paddle because we had a stock carbine spring in here. That's since been replaced. So, without further ado, let's give it a shot. See how we do. We start off with the Federal ball. We shot most reliably last time. We're going to do 5 rounds at a time, so just hit pause after.
Shorter and it's a different caliber. But you can adjust this a little bit if you want. This right here, safety, when you're ready to fire. Fire a round or two off real quick and then I'll let you go. Try it here.
Well, that was a quick range trip. We broke the ping pong paddle again.
Well,
Well, what we can do is carry on without the bolt hole open. I might have to contact New Frontier about that one. Obviously, it wasn't the spring that was doing it. There's some other problem.
So this one, sighted in. You can do it seated, or you can do it.
I don't know why it would do that, but
I wonder how Joebobs is going
seated
to
or-
or Joebobs.
Huh?
I don't know why it's doing that, but
Huh? You're going to do it here?
we can continue with it. We just won't have a last round bolt hole open. We'll just have to take that out.
What are you going to do?
Broke in the same place.
Or is this the broken one?
Okay. So, finger on trigger real quick. I'm going to
I don't know why it's doing that, but
ready to fire. Yep. Go.
I have no idea why it's doing that, but anyway, carry on. We just won't have a last round bolt hole open.
How many shots did we shoot?
3. The spring actually wasn't the problem. I don't know what the problem is, but or whatever the problem is. Carry on. See how it does everything else.
That's still wet, man?
And because we don't have a last round bolt hole open, we just have to treat it like an AK. That's very disappointing, though. I don't know why it's doing that, but apparently
Is this where it broke off?
that probably is a piece of it.
Can I shoot the next rounds?
Yeah, let me try some other ones through there.
You want to try this one?
I was aiming for the wrong guy. It's that guy out there.
Aim for the white guy.
I think I'll probably have to contact.
Yep. So, go ahead.
It looks like it's impacting on the part of the receiver there. See that?
Okay, so I'm aiming for the white guy.
Put it down.
It's firing more reliably now, but I'm wondering why it's doing that. You don't have to film all this. Now we're continuing on without a left round bolt hold open because we got 3 rounds before it broke. So obviously the spring was not the problem, but it is cycling now. It shut everyone without any failures to fire. So this is the tool ammo, which we had the most problems with failure to fire last time. 5 rounds. Burst. See that? That's interesting.
What?
Huh?
What happened?
We got a burst out of it. Let's try it again.
We'll go over to the most smaller range.
That was a 3-round burst.
So this,
Why is it burnt?
I don't know. Maybe the firing pin might be stuck forward. That's very interesting.
Your shell hit me in the belly.
That's very interesting.
we use the table. Come here. This one's it won't kick. But it's a little heavy, so if you want to do it seated, you want to move that stool closer. Are you looking at the
All right, we have a very strange condition. On the Tula ammo, it's going fully automatic. I have no idea why. I can only assume that
here it came?
something. I'll have to check it out because it's a dangerous condition. If it's firing a burst, I would think that the firing pin might be sticking forward. But I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that. So at this point, we're going to call it a day. Okay, we're back. This is a follow-up video to the first review that I did for the AR-45 that I built. Range. After this little section, I'm going to cut away and have a couple of range shots. The first time we went to the range, we had it shot okay. The problems we were having were it was getting primarily the main problem was light primer strikes. So with the Federal ammunition, it shot fine. Then we moved on to the Winchester hollow points, and a couple of them had light primer strikes. Then I went on to the Tula ammunition, and that stuff apparently has military grade primers in it because practically every one was a light primer strike. And I'm attributing that to this right here. This is the stock spring that I cut one of the legs off of, and apparently this rifle and the ammunition that you're going to be shooting it through likes a full power spring. So the first thing that I did was replace this. The other problem that we had at the range, as you'll see in the video, is we broke the ping pong paddle. And I thought that it might be just the spring or something. Turns out, to make a long story short, the last round bolt hold open wasn't adjusted properly, and after you see at the range part, I'll describe more on that a little bit later. But needless to say, I called up Joebobs, and I'm not sponsored by Joebobs or anything, but they are my go-to. They jumped right on it, and they sent me a replacement ping pong paddle, or last round bolt hold open. And they also sent, at the same time, I ordered the Caw Valley extra power spring, because they thought that the stock spring, which this is just a normal carbine spring, they thought that might have been, well, it was too harsh and it was breaking the ping pong paddle. I've never broken a ping pong paddle before, but apparently with these pistol caliber blowbacks, you get that. So long story short, we go to the range a second time, which you may or may not also see footage. I forget if we got footage on that. But the second time we went to the range, we went through 3 rounds before we broke the ping pong paddle. And what I attributed that to is I later found out that, like I said, the last round bolt hold'em wasn't adjusted properly, and that extra power spring on the cycling stroke, when it was loading another round in there, just made it break the ping pong paddle all that much. What it was this wire in here was improperly adjusted, and it was causing the it was also too long. It was causing the last round bolt hold to almost always be trying to engage. So when I put the extra power spring in there, all that did was break it in 3 rounds after that. The main reason I attribute that to is this upper is made by, it's a Spartan upper. It's actually made by the same people who make it for New Frontier, and this upper is for either 9mm Glock or 45 Glock interchangeably, but it's the same last round bolt hold open. So I sent them an email because in the end the solution was, because apparently they fit these for the Glock to ensure that the last round bolt hold open happens at the factory. But I think they do that for the 9mm because this wire in there was far too long. It extended out too far, and what was happening was, not only was it not engaging in the little slot that is for the last round bolt hold open, but it was engaging on the top of the follower, and if it had rounds in the magazine, it was actually scraping down the side of the bullet, which also attributed to the lack of accuracy that I had as well. So in order to rectify that, what we did was I took this out, took that out, closed this back up, and then I inserted a magazine in there until it operated properly. What that took to make that operate properly, because they fit this for a 9mm, I'm assuming, instead of the 45. The 45 is a fatter magazine, which means that wire is going to extend out too far for a 45, and I think that might be some of the problems that people who build 45s might be having. So in the end, I had to trim this little wire here, the last round bolt hold open, if you can see in there. I don't know, it's a little dark. I had to trim that back by about 1mm or so. And then after I did that, it got it to the point where it was over the little recess for that wire in order for the last round bolt hold open. And after that, I had to take it out of here, put it in a vise, and bend it enough to where it wasn't going to try and engage all the time. I got it sorted out, not quite, almost, but I also, after I broke the last one, I got this as a replacement. This right here. This is a Seekins enhanced last round bolt hold open. This right here. And what that does, it's built like a tank. It's far bigger. It has a bigger ping pong paddle area. And what's more important is this little area right here. Normally you just have that little nub sticking out. You can see how deep that goes down in there. Instead of being only that, it has a lot more purchase now. So that's how we rectified that. And if you're having problems, you build a 45 and you're having problems, that's likely the cause. In the end, I got it sorted to where I'm not breaking ping pong paddles, but the only bad thing about it is that's the dog. The only bad thing about it is it's not working on the last round bolt hold open. So I still have this being able to hold the round open. Put that back in there. Also want to take this out. For comparison, this is the Call Valley Extra Power Spring. This is my 8-ounce, I'm using the New Frontier 8-ounce extended length buffer, specifically for 45. This is a comparison between these springs. This is the Call Valley Extra Power Spring. this is your normal carbine spring. And you can see the thickness of the wire, and this one's shorter. This is much more powerful. The last time I went to the range yesterday, I got it sorted out, so I'm not breaking ping pong paddles anymore, but I no longer have a functioning last round bolt hold open. I don't think that that's the end of the world, because the MP5 never had a last round bolt hold open, and I still have a working hold back in case I want to lock the bolt to the rear. With more sorting out, I might be able to get that worked out, but unfortunately, I'd rather err on the side of not breaking ping pong paddles and still have the ability to lock the bolt back. It slows you down a little bit with a reload, but it's not the end of the world. The last time I went to the range, this is good news now. The last time I went to the range, 0 malfunctions. All the rounds fired fine. The accuracy is up. No malfunctions, no failures to extract, no failures to feed. Absolutely no malfunctions whatsoever. And I tried shooting it with both these springs. This one is good. It's a bit twangy. You're going to get that AR-15 spring twang right there in your ear when you're using this one. This one, the normal carbine spring, it does not have that twang, and it operates absolutely just perfectly fine as long as you're using this heavy buffer. That's the most important thing. I would say just go ahead and not bother with this. Just go ahead with your normal carbine spring if you're trying to sort one of these out to tune it after you've built it. Although I am going to retain this, and because after I get my suppressor for 45 and shoot this suppressed, I will be using this because you're going to have more back pressure, and I feel as it would function a lot better using this spring when it's suppressed. But for normal operation, this works perfectly fine. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Not that this was a lot of money. I think it was like $8 or something like that. But for normal operation with this 45 caliber New Frontier Arms one that I built, the normal carbine spring is fine. You just want a nice heavy buffer, at least at 8 ounces, and it needs to be extended length so that you don't get an overextension of the bolt. And like I said before, Joebobs is #1 in my book. They get right on stuff. They sent me the original one as a direct replacement because I used their parts kit, and I can't say enough good things about them. Their shipping is free if it's over $100, and it's fast regardless of either way. I can highly recommend this Seekins extended bolt catch. It works fantastic. I've replaced the trigger in here with the one that I polished out because that was the problem I was having. The second time I went to the range, before I broke the ping pong paddle, I pulled the broken parts out and I continued to fire it, but I had polished that trigger so much. Even though I didn't remove metal, you had to be very careful because what I had was basically a binary trigger. It was shooting on the pull and the release. It wasn't properly locking back. So it was basically going fully automatic. So here's the things that I've changed since the original. You can continue to use the normal carbine spring if that's what you want to use. If you're going to shoot suppressed, I would recommend the Kaw Valley Extended Performance Spring. I would recommend this bolt catch regardless. It works better for this pistol caliber carbine. Again, the Odin Works extended trigger release. And I replaced the spring. You want to have a normal power spring with these pistol caliber stuff, especially if you're using Tula ammo or military grade ammo. They have that hard primer, and this solved that problem. I haven't broke the ping pong paddle. And also the main thing, most important thing, if you're building one of these and you get one of these uppers, check before you do anything else. Pull that bolt out and using a magazine, check to see where your wire is coming down. If it's coming down on top of the follower instead of the little notch, that's incorrect. You want to adjust that for the 45 because when they set these up, I'm pretty sure that they do it for the 9mm. The 45 is a fatter magazine, the wire's not properly adjusted, and as a result, it's constantly trying to hold that bolt open, and you're going to end up with a lot of broken bolt hole open latches. You can continue. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I like having the ability to hold the belt bolt back using the ping pong paddle. I may in the future, if I decide to spend more time on it, sorting it out, we'll adjust that wire. It's all a matter of the wire adjustment. I don't want to monkey with it at the moment. I'd rather err on the side of caution and not break ping pong paddles and not interrupt the way it's working now. For now, for all intensive purposes, right now it's working fine. Let me go ahead and put that back in. I'm going to go ahead and put the normal one in there. And the trigger that I replaced the original one with is the WMD nickel boron trigger group that comes in that lower build kit that you get also from Joebobs. That was my go-to until I started doing a few others, and now I kind of like the Joebobs enhanced lower parts kit. But here we go. We're going to sum it up. If you get one of these, first thing you want to do is make sure that bolt hold open wire is adjusted properly. Otherwise, you're going to have malfunctions. You're going to be breaking ping pong paddles. If you're breaking ping pong paddles, it's not the spring. The wire needs to be adjusted. If you're doing 45, it might be fine for 9mm, but if you're building a 45 and you're having these kind of problems, that's probably what it is. Second issue, use a full power trigger spring. Third issue, if you're going to shoot it suppressed, I would recommend this Call Valley Extended Performance Extra Power Spring, or whatever they call it. And that's about it. It's working fine now, and that pretty much concludes my review. If you're having any kind of problems, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I get them. Have a good one.